Okay, it's finally time to harvest comfrey. I'm going to make two different types of fertilizer today, both out of comfrey. One is going to be soaked in water, which is called comfrey tea, and the other is going to be just straight comfrey. I'm going to pack it as tight as I can, and I've drilled a bunch of holes in that bucket to let it drip out the bottom and catch it in a secondary bucket. I like to use gloves because you can't see it on the video, but see down here, all these little pricklies? That's actually on the bottom of the leaf too, and it's really, it doesn't hurt, but it's really kind of uncomfortable. So it's just time to hack it. My favorite machete. I call it Buddy. It's Buddy Hackett. That's terrible, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
Should you leave some leaves?
No. You can hack this stuff all the way down. It'll come back. You can. These plants are about 3 years old, maybe 4. So at 3 or 4, at 3 years, I could dig out this crown, separate it, plant it somewhere else, it'll come right back. And this root system is deep enough, it'll come back off of that root system also. I got that whole plant in this bucket. It's packed pretty tight. This one I'm not concerned about packing super tight because I'm going to top it off with water, non-chlorinated water, it's not tap water. This is going to be water garden water, which already has stuff from the plants and the fish and plenty of black bacteria. It's clean, but it's not chlorinated. So we'll go ahead and top it off with water in just a minute. Now, I'll get this one and probably most of this one, and I'm gonna stuff this next bucket as tight as I can get it, just super tight. Here we go. Non-chlorinated water. This is water garden water. A little bit of debris does not matter at all, and I'm hoping it'll, I gotta put some more in there. I want this completely submerged in water. There I go. Okay. Now this one, I chose these buckets for 2 reasons. 1, I have a lot of them, and 2, they nest really well. So this one will be packed as tightly as I can get it. I got stuck. And you can see it's going to leak out the bottom. And this one is going to catch it. So I have basically my strainer, which I'm going to pack as tightly as I can, and something to catch it in. Now, the bucket with the tea, I want that to ferment. So I'm thinking a month to a month and a half. It's gonna be pretty stinky, so I'm gonna set it away from the house. This one, with just draining the straight tea, the straight juice, it'll be dark, so dark green it's almost black. And that'll take just a couple of weeks. But you have to dilute it a lot more.
And
don't necessarily want to chop it all up. That might be better, but I'm at least going to fold it to start that juice coming out.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
I'll leave a couple of leaves so I don't mow it.
You won't mow it. It's up in a ridge. This stuff loves rain.
And
This
lots
is
of sun.
a little, yeah. This is a little more sun than it likes. It likes a little bit of shade, kind of mixed, but a lot of hot sun, direct sunlight for too many hours a day. You'll see it start to wilt a little bit, but it really poured for like a week intermittently. And last night we had a really big rain, blew most of the blooms off. There's some blooms down here. We'll show you in just a second.
Put some back into it. That one is the happiest. It likes the fact that it gets some afternoon shade. It's got the perfect amount.
Yeah, it's pretty happy right here. Happy place.
Oh, there was a hummingbird zipping around, staring at you because you're tearing down its flowers.
Oh, yes, hummingbird love these flowers.
We're leaving it some. It's about as full as she's going to get. Now sit on it for a minute.
Okay. There you go. Nice and nested up.
Now we were going to put these in the garden so the smell. Let's
Yeah.
put it out in the big garden. That way the dog won't mess with it. Okay, this is what the flowers look like. Aren't they cute? I love these things. The hummingbirds really like them.
Yes, the hummingbirds do like them. And you can see where the rain really inspired a bunch of new growth here in just the last week. This stuff laying down toward the outside, it was getting really hot and it started to lay over. And then the rain just spurred on a bunch of new growth right out of the middle. This is the tea, which is comfrey and water out in the garden, because this needs to ferment or basically rot before it's ready to go. Now this, again, non-chlorinated water, because I don't want to kill any bacteria in there with the chlorine. I want to grow that bacteria. You're not supposed to be able to overuse comfrey fertilizer. It's very natural, but it is suggested that you dilute your tea. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I'm going to be watering like my tomatoes or my corn or a cantaloupe or gladiolas. I might cut it half and half with water garden water, non-chlorinated water. But like I say, set it away from your house because it's going to have to rot before it's ready.
Oh, it's
to
going
go.
to stink so bad.
Yes, it is. That's why
It kind of smells like a really strong horse manure, rotting horse manure.
Yes. Yeah, it smells like rotting manure. It's actually referred to as a green manure. You could put it in your compost pile. It'll really, I would chop it up maybe a little bit, or at least break it up, mix it into your compost pile, mix it in. Now, you can see I harvested three pretty good sized plants, and that gave me two small buckets. So if I harvested all of these, that would probably fill a 55-gallon barrel. Not super tight, but it would definitely fill it. Now, for something like that, I would probably just top it off with aquarium water, or water garden water, and make a lot of tea. And probably have a spigot on the bottom. I could drain that off. Other than that, I can like I say, get three harvests a year out of this. And the last harvest most likely will get chopped down and go right into the raised beds, like right in the top layer, and maybe pour some topsoil right over the top of it to weight it down and help it start to rot. And that would be an excellent, like the compost worms, the red wigglers as they're referred to. That would be, because I would use very little topsoil and there'd be a lot of comfrey here, that would be a fantastic bed for red wigglers. I'm thinking, in theory, because they don't necessarily like the dirt, they like the rotting vegetation. Okay, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.